What's going on, boys and girls? I've just finished up at the gym because I need to get in the right mindset for tonight's match against Manchester United. I ain't here to play nice anymore, people, and neither should Arsenal. We've let a couple of teams off the hook recently. It stops tonight. There is no way that my football club this season are letting an interim Manchester United manager in Michael Carrick come to our ground and put any sort of dent in our title aspirations. It's that simple. I don't care the context. I don't care that they smoked Manchester City and they're on a feel-good high. I do not care. This Arsenal team is not going to let this Manchester United team come to the Emirates and get a sniff. Now, before I go into the game, there's two things I want to quickly touch on because I have been a little bit quiet on here recently. First thing is, Ethan Nwaneri started last night for Marseille, scores an absolute banger of a goal. Now, I'll admit it, the amount of time and space he had on the ball to score that goal, he is not getting that in the Premier League. So I completely understand that the league is nowhere near the level of the Premier League. And I'll admit it, I was quite disappointed. Not so much to see Nwaneri leave, because I do think he needs to go and play football, but I was disappointed that Arteta couldn't find a position or a role for Nwaneri in this Arsenal team. I've said from day one, for me, I didn't understand the Madueke signing. For me, Nwaneri, even with Madueke in our squad, is a better backup option to Saka than Madueke. I think right now, as it stands, Nwaneri is a better player than Madueke. So I was really disappointed to see, given the way in which Nwaneri played last season when he was given his chances, I was really disappointed that this season didn't turn out to be a season where he was able to kind of kick on from that. But now that he's in Marseille, all I can hope and all we can hope as Arsenal fans is that he goes on to have a really great 6 months with Marseille, proves just how good he is, builds up his confidence and comes back into this Arsenal team next season with a real role to play. I'd also like to touch on the Inter Milan result. What a result. What a result and what a performance. And I think this is just testament to how far we have come as a football club in these last 6-7 years. We have gone to the San Siro. We have played effectively a B team, if you want to call it that. No Gabriel, no Calafiori, no Rice. You know, that's an up. No Gyökeres, if you want to call him our number one starting 9. To go to the San Siro, Inter Milan are top of the Serie A. They've been in 2 of the last 3 Champions League finals. Okay, they might not be Inter Milan of 10-15 years ago, but that is a very good team and that is a very difficult stadium. And I'd also like to point out that Inter Milan had a lot to play for in that game. That was their last home game of the Champions League campaign. And by winning that, they would have put themselves in a real secure position to qualify in the top 8. Arsenal, on the other hand, didn't really have anything riding on that game. So for us to go in and put in that performance and get that result was just an exceptional win. And it just gives us such a lift going into this Manchester United game after what was a fairly disappointing result against Forest. So they're the two things I wanted to get out of the way quickly. In terms of this game against Manchester United, I think this is the first time this season we're pretty much walking into this game with practically the whole squad fit. Calafiori and Nketiah are now back in training. Unfortunately, I don't think either of them will start against Manchester United. I mean, they've both been out for quite a few matches now, so I'd be surprised if they were chucked into a game like this from the get-go. But it's just great to know we're getting back to a place of, you know, full fitness for the entire squad. It just gives us so many options. I've said it already. I will not accept anything other than a win in this match. I'm not sugarcoating. This has to be a win. Man City have beaten Wolves as you would have expected, so the gap is now back to 4 points. I'm sorry, but we cannot be letting Man City be 4 points off us in the Premier League. Not because I think they'll catch us, but because there's just no way that Arsenal should be 4 points only in front of Manchester City with the way the season's been transpiring. And also, I don't care what Manchester United did against Man City. I really don't. I'm not going to accept them, different manager, new manager bounce, playing a different brand of football, players in their right position. I'm not hearing it. Arsenal are a better football team and they should be beating Manchester United at home, given what's on the line. This is going to come down to the midfield for me. Manchester United are going to play, they're going to sit back, they're going to be defensively sound, they're going to hold their shape, and they're going to try and catch us on the counter. What they did against Manchester City very well, they were very good in tight spaces, and they managed to find the right ball at the right time to counter quickly against Manchester City. So they're going to try and do the same thing against us. The big difference with us is we've got a completely better midfield than Man City, and more importantly, our defence is probably the best in the world. So we just need to do our thing, play to an 8 out of 10 level, and we should be beating this Manchester United side. I think the first goal is huge. We can't deny the fact that we are not scoring. Well, it's not that we're not scoring a lot of goals. We put 3 past Inter, we put 4 past Portsmouth, we put 3 past Chelsea. So we are scoring goals, but we do make hard work of it sometimes. So I wouldn't like to see Manchester United get the first goal, if I'm being brutally honest. I think it's really important we get that first goal. Starting 11, Raya in goal. I think on the premise that I don't believe Calafiori and Capier will start. I don't think he's going to go with Lewis Skelly. I thought Lewis Skelly looked much, much better against Inter. That was probably his best game of the season, which was really nice to see. But I just think up against Amad Diallo, I just don't think we can be playing Lewis Skelly. So I think he's going to put Timber on the left, which is a shame because as much as I think Timber is fine on the left, I think we lose something on the right by taking him out of the right back position. But I think he'll go Timber on the left, Ben White on the right, and then he'll go Saliba and Gabriel in the middle. I don't think you can argue with that. I can't have any qualms with that as an Arsenal fan, and that should be more than enough to see out a game against Manchester United. Zubimendi will be in the 6. Rice will be in the 8. I really need a big game from Declan Rice. He was rested against Inter Milan, which was brilliant. He should be coming into this game with an absolute full tank of gas, and I expect him to put in one of his best performances of the season. And then we get to the 10. I'm not going to lie, people. I have been very, very, very disappointed with Martin Odegaard. He's had a couple of good moments this season, which has been encouraging. But I think all in all, that game against Nottingham Forest, for me, just sums up Odegaard now for probably the best part of the last 18 months. And I'm a bit sick and tired of it, if I'm honest. I don't think Eze has particularly done anything outstanding to say that it's criminal to pick Odegaard over him, which is a shame because I really thought Eze would have kind of stamped his authority on this team by now. But I think we all know where this is going. Arteta is going to pick Odegaard. Odegaard was rested against Inter, so Odegaard will be in the 10. And I just need to see so much more from Odegaard. I need him to be stronger on and off the ball. I need him to stop sitting in between Saliba and Gabriel and Zubimendi and passing sideways. I need him in that 10 pocket. I need him feeding dangerous cutting balls into Saka, into the number 9, whoever that might be, and I need him shooting from outside the box. I need him to be dangerous. On the right, it will be Saka. On the left, it'll be Trossard. I think it will be Trossard. It'd be interesting if he threw an Eze on the left. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I don't think Trossard has been outstanding the last couple of games. I definitely don't think it should be the fact that Trossard's just nailed in as that left winger. So I wouldn't mind the little curveball in Eze, but I think it will be Trossard. And then up top, you've got the debate now between Jesus and Gyökeres. I don't think Havertz is going to start. He just hasn't played enough football yet. Jesus looked good against Inter. Gyökeres scored a great goal. if I'm picking my number 9 for this particular game and the way Manchester United are going to play and the defenders that they're going to play, I'm going with Jesus. I think Lisandro Martinez and Harry Maguire would love to come up against Gyökeres. Gyökeres wants to get into battles and they love that. For me, a tricky, nimble player like Jesus who can get into pockets, who's fast, quick turn, can link up, play well, I think he is Maguire and Martinez's nightmare scenario. So I'm going with Jesus up top. And then look, the bench, there's more than enough there if things aren't going our way for us to be able to mix it up. So I don't even care who Manchester United are going to play. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm going to go with an Arsenal 3-1 win. I think this is our opportunity to once again try and make a bloody statement. And I really hope for once we finally make this statement that we need to make. Let's stop giving people sniffs. This is our title. This is our time. And I expect the players to prove that tonight against Manchester United. My star man is going to be Declan Rice, and I'm going for a 3-1 win. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's hear, hoping that in 24 hours from now, we are celebrating a big, big result for Arsenal. See you later, guys.